Lucius Annaeus Seneca was a Roman statesman and Stoic philosopher who acknowledged that if we want to live well, we must constantly study the greatest of all things, life itself. In his moral essay on the brevity of life, Seneca reminds us of the non-renewability of our most important resource, our time. So, considering this, here are 10 of the most important lessons on time management drawn from Seneca. Lesson 1. Treat time as a commodity. Seneca says that many people are frugal with their personal property, but when it comes to spending time, they are extremely extravagant. He warns that we do not value time as a precious resource, although it may be our most valuable and least renewable resource. Imagine seeing someone very wealthy throwing money into the air on the street. Surely, you would consider that person crazy. However, we witness how we and others daily spend something much more valuable, our time. The amount of time we have is unknown, but it is definitely limited. It is more absurd to waste time than money because, unlike money, we cannot get more. When used correctly, time becomes an amplifier, but when spent carelessly, it becomes a constant source of regret. To understand the value of a year, ask a student who failed a grade. To appreciate the worth of a month, ask a mother who gave birth prematurely. To gauge the significance of a week, ask the editor of a weekly newspaper. To grasp the importance of an hour, ask someone who just missed a flight. To comprehend the value of a second, ask someone who narrowly avoided an accident. To understand the meaning of a millisecond, ask the person who won a silver medal at the Olympics. While the amount of time we have is unknown, one thing is clear. Time is limited and death lurks in its waste. Those who think time is cheap because when used correctly, time becomes an amplifier, but when spent carelessly, it becomes a constant source of regret. Number 2. Do not invest all your time in the future. According to Seneca, those who devote all their time to their own needs, who plan each day as if it were their last, do not fret or fear tomorrow. We are all guilty of spending too much time preparing for life. Seneca urges us to live in the present, not to postpone our happiness, not to think that happiness lies in the future. Our future is uncertain and beyond our control. The future life for which we work may never come. We are so preoccupied and worried about the future that we do not make use of the present. And then when we grow old and find ourselves on our deathbed, we finally realize how short and precious life is, and we are left only to regret that we did not make use of it when we could. Seneca compares time to a river that will not flow forever. If you were in the middle of a desert, you would maximize your time. Make the most of your present. Your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond deserve to be planned by you, not to take away your precious gift. You can only live one moment at a time and you only live once, so choose to live in the present. Number 3. Live life for yourself. Do not think that a person has lived long because they have gray hair. They have not lived long, they have just existed long enough. We all have specific things we want in our lives, whether it's a dream job, a dream home, or dream relationships. However, most of us are nowhere close to achieving many of these things because we are stuck in work we cannot stand, in order to pay the bills, or in relationships we are not happy in. We deceive ourselves into thinking we do not have enough time to try new activities. Being busy with what we dislike is the greatest distraction and makes us live a mediocre life. We go through life day by day, fulfilling our obligations, not in ourselves, but with being. The best way to invest your time is to invest in creating a life you love to live. If you do not know what you love or want, ask yourself the following questions. What could I do if I had more time? Or if I could change something now in my environment or in myself? What would it be? You may discover that you want to change jobs, get in shape, or take up a new hobby. Practice the intentionality of evil. As we learn from Seneca, wasting time on doubts and procrastination happens when there is a conflict between immediate gratification impulses, such as procrastination, and long-term commitments, such as completing a sales report. Psychologically, this is known as temporal inconsistency. While most of us value significant work over time, the human brain is deeply rooted in the here and now. Nevertheless, Seneca offers us a very effective and simple method to combat this called intentional evil. The idea is to ask yourself before doing something, what could go wrong? This is a form of negative visualization. Once you identify the distracting factors or problems, you can plan solutions around them by preparing in advance. Recognizing distracting factors and responding appropriately by setting the right time, place, and conditions can help you avoid immediate impulses. If you are prepared to plan ahead for what you want to do and take on commitments, you are 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through. Make long-term rewards outweigh immediate ones. According to Seneca, postponing events is the greatest waste of life because they take away every day and deprive us of the present, promising us a future. The biggest obstacle to life is anticipation, our tendency to postpone the most challenging tasks, even if we've eliminated all distractions and are ready to start working at 8 o'clock a.m. How do you plan for your brain? The temptation to find an excuse to do something easier is still very strong. The biggest problem is finding a way to make this initial effort less unpleasant. The key here is anticipation. It's what we eagerly await. When we want to postpone something that we know will benefit us, it's the gap between immediate impulses and long-term rewards. The reason it's often difficult to start something is the lack of anticipation of immediate reward. Sometimes the reward is years in the future. However, if you combine it with the expectation of immediate reward, you have a compelling reason to start. For example, if you postpone watching YouTube videos, you can make a deal with yourself that you won't watch YouTube until you finish a certain amount of work. This way, you reward your work with something immediate. Maximize your free time, as they say. It's not that we have little time, but that life is long enough, and we've been given a generous amount to achieve great things, provided they are invested wisely. We all work hard to earn 2 things: money and free time for leisure. We work from 8 to 9 hours a day to earn free time, yet spending that hard-earned free time on unnecessary things like drinking at a bar with colleagues or friends, watching TV shows, or just hanging out at the water cooler. Stop and don't talk anymore about wasting your free time you earned, even if you enjoy your daily work. Try to minimize the time you spend on work. You'll never get those extra hours back. They're gone forever. If you work in the city, find time to visit a museum or gallery. You can start reading a book in the office during lunch breaks on weekends or in the evening when you have more free time. Use this period for meditation, reading, exercising, or journaling, all of which can add value to your life. If your goal is to overcome mediocrity and start living a full life, start doing more in your free time. Find time to reflect on your past. Seneca tells us that life is too short and filled with anxieties for those who forget their past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Time is divided into 3 parts: the present, the future, and the past. All modern teachings on time management insist on focusing on the present with an eye to the future. However, Seneca urges us to pay attention to the past, as remembering it can help us become more effective today and better understand ourselves. Reflection on the past and self-analysis can benefit the soul, help us realize changes that have occurred, and determine who we want to become in the future. Stop wasting time on the trivialities of life. As we've learned, people want to know just how short their lives are and how little of it they dedicate to themselves. We're all guilty of spending too much time on trivial matters. More and more of our days are consumed by screen time, scrolling through status updates. How often do we devote our time to meaningless activities beyond the pursuit of financial or social gains? Mindlessly playing video games, for instance, without any tangible benefits. Time that could be used to develop useful skills, exercise, or enrich ourselves with literature, art, or music. The same can be said for social media and other forms of entertainment, especially social networks, which are designed to consume your time. If people came to you all day asking for $20, you'd turn them away. But all day long, people come to you, whether in person, by phone, email, or text, asking for your time, and you just give it away. We should strive to live for ourselves, at least in most cases. Those who are happy fill their time with valuable and meaningful activities, according to their own perspective on life. Invest your time in creating new memories. Just as you give money to a wealthy person, they will try to double their money by investing it where they will get the maximum return. Likewise, we should all wisely spend our time, and the best return we can get from our time is to invest in creating new memories. Seneca's philosophy tells us that memory is stronger than pain. We spend a lot of time chasing after things that make our lives shorter, even shorter, like luxury and leisure, and then regret not living when we grow older. One of the enemies of happiness is adaptation, says Dr. Thomas Gilovich, a professor of psychology at Cornell University, who has studied the relationship between money and happiness for over 2 decades. Gilovich and other researchers have found that memories of life experiences, however humble, bring more happiness than material possessions. Memories guide our thoughts, actions, and decisions, shaping who we are. You can start creating new memories by taking on new challenges, spending time with loved ones, traveling, and seeking new opportunities. We are not our possessions. We are a sum of everything we have seen, done, and experienced. Balance is a fundamental principle in Seneca's philosophy, which believed in the importance of a balanced and harmonious life. He teaches us that well-spent time should not be limited to work and continuous productivity. It's important to take care of ourselves, nurture relationships with family and friends, pursue personal interests, and enjoy leisure and relaxation. Striving for balance reminds us not to become slaves to work or daily responsibilities. Seneca reminds us that life should not only be about duties and tasks, but also a fulfilling and enriching experience. By taking care of ourselves, we invest in our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. This may include activities such as exercise, meditation, reading, or any other form of self-improvement that helps us better understand ourselves and find inner peace. Furthermore, developing constructive relationships with family and friends is a source of emotional support and human connections that are crucial for our happiness and well-being. Spending time with loved ones allows us to share joyful moments and strengthen our support network. Hobbies and activities that bring pleasure and satisfaction are also important for a healthy balance. By engaging in our interests and passions, we stimulate our creativity, nurture our curiosity, and find sources of personal fulfillment outside the demands of daily life. Finally, relaxation is essential for recharging our energies and avoiding burnout. Good night's sleep, nature walks, moments of contemplation, or simply breaks throughout the day help us restore physical and mental balance, refreshing our ability to cope with daily challenges. In short, seeking balance involves recognizing that well-spent time is not limited to productivity alone, but includes self-care, pursuit of personal interests, and adequate rest. This quest for balance enables us to enjoy a full and meaningful life, avoiding time wastage and finding harmony in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for watching the video. If you're new here, consider joining us on the path to wisdom. We'll do our best to add value to your life. Hope to see you soon. Until next time.